The city stretched out below them, a forest of fire and light. Flames licked the sky while violet neon pulsed in the rain, painting the ruins in surreal beauty. From the rooftop, Pasiphae and Kylar sat side by side, their silhouettes bound together against the chaos. To anyone else it was just another night in the city, a night of smoke, riots, and silence enforced by bullets. But to them, it was proof that the world could collapse and yet leave something untouched. Pasiphae had never believed the city's promises. Even as a child, she saw through the lies. In the lower districts where the air choked of rust and smog, promises were just weapons with better polish. Her mother had been a dreamer, the kind who dared to speak. One evening, men in black coats came, and her mother never returned. Her father worked until his lungs gave out in the factories, his hands breaking on machines that didn't stop for death or dignity. By 14, Pasiphae was alone, but solitude never meant silence. She turned her anger into code, into hidden voices inside the networks. At night, she hacked into corporate systems, leaving messages that blinked like ghosts on their screens. We are still here. We are not afraid. Of course she was afraid. She was hunted. Her hair turned violet, a disguise at first, then a statement. In a world that erased identities, she refused to be erased. Kylar's path had been the opposite. He was once on the other side of the barrel. The enforcers had taken him young. They promised him order, food, shelter, and implants to make him strong. And for years, he believed. His armor gleamed. His orders were clear. In the chaos of the city, certainty was seductive until the night of the shelter. He remembered the smell of smoke, the whimper of children pressed against crumbling walls, the order in his comms. Burn it down. Rebels don't raise children. His finger froze on the trigger. For the first time, Kylar said no. He turned his weapon on his commander, and from that second, he was no longer a soldier. He was prey. He stripped off the uniform, but the implants remained, etched into his body like scars he could never shed. For years he wandered, haunted by faces he couldn't save. He ate scraps, slept in shadows, waiting for someone to finish him. They met in fire. Pasiphae had broken into a corporate armory, bent on destroying a new wave of surveillance drones before they could be deployed. She moved like a phantom through the steel corridors, fingers fast on the lock pads. That's when she saw him. Kylar was half-starved, crouched in the dark corner of the armory, more shadow than man. She almost shot him on sight. You have 10 seconds, she hissed, pistol steady. His voice was broken, but steady enough. If you're here to fight them, I'm not your enemy. Something in his eyes stopped her. Not fear, not aggression, something heavier. Guilt, maybe, the kind that doesn't fade. She lowered the gun, but only slightly. Prove it. And he did. That night, side by side, they blew the armory sky high. Trust wasn't immediate, it never is in a world built on betrayal. But it began. Now, months later, they sat on the crumbling rooftop, watching the city drown in neon and flames. Pasiphae leaned her head against his shoulder, the smell of smoke still clinging to her hair. "They think fire erases everything," she said softly, "but it only shows us what matters." Kyla's hand tightened around hers, calloused and warm. "As long as we have each other, they haven't won." The silence between them wasn't empty, it was armor. Below, sirens screamed, gunships scoured the skies, propaganda flickered on broken billboards. But here, above it all, they had carved out a fragment of freedom. "Do you ever think," Pasiphae whispered, "that we weren't meant to survive this world?" Kyler turned to her, fire reflected in his cybernetic eyes. For a moment he looked like the soldier he once was, but softer, more human. "No," he said, "I think we were meant to change it. Or if we can't, at least to change what it means to love inside it." She smiled faintly, though her chest ached. In a city where everything was designed to separate, their unity was rebellion. That night in the armory returned to Pasiphae's mind. The explosion, the rain of sparks, Kyla dragging her out of the collapsing hangar when she would have stayed to upload one more virus. "You're reckless," he had told her. "And you're still alive," she had shot back. They fought often, about tactics, about trust, about what freedom even meant, but every fight ended with the same truth: neither could walk away. Below, the city convulsed in chaos. Above, they leaned into each other, fragile and unbroken. They had no armies, no allies, no future promised, only the bond between them, fragile as flame, strong as steel. Pasiphae's voice broke the night once more. "Do you regret it? Saying no that night? Turning your back on them?" Kyler exhaled, long and heavy. "Every day, and not once." She kissed his temple. "Good, because if you hadn't, we'd never have met. Tomorrow the fight would return. The corporations would send more drones, the enforcers more troops. The city would keep burning, swallowing lives in silence. But tonight, on this crumbling edge of the world, two broken stories had woven into one. Pasiphae, the ghost who refused to vanish. Kyla, the soldier who chose humanity over obedience. Together they weren't escaping the city, they were defying it. And the moral of this story is, in a world that survives by dividing and destroying, true strength lies in unity. Even when everything burns, holding on to one another becomes the most radical act of survival and the most powerful way to love.